My name is Harper Alden, and I'm 29 years old. If competence had a sound, it would be the low hum of my life. My dishwasher flips to off-peak at 12:01 a.m. because I programmed it once and never thought about it again. My budgeting app pings green on the last day of every month. My gas tank is never below a quarter. I'm a software developer. I live in spreadsheets, clean code, and project timelines. I don't miss deadlines. I don't miss payments. I don't miss details. People don't notice competence until it fails, until something cracks. For me, the crack started on a Sunday at 6:13 p.m. over pot roast and mashed potatoes. Sunday dinners at my parents' house are a family ritual, not a suggestion. My mom calls them non-negotiable, and she means it. Every week, my older brother, Matt, his wife, Leah, their 3-year-old tornado of a son, Eli. Sometimes my aunt and uncle, sometimes cousins. Always loud, always a little chaotic, always good. When I started dating Evan, I told him about Sunday dinners on our third date. If this gets serious, I said, you'll be there, every week. No skipping because of football or hangovers. He laughed and clinked his beer bottle against my glass. Babe, I love family stuff. I'm in. And for a while, he was. Evan is 27 in pharmaceutical sales, the kind of guy who can walk into a room and leave with 3 phone numbers and a commission check. He works long hours, takes clients to fancy lunches, throws around words like pipeline and territory. He loves saying, I busted my ass to get where I am. He also loves casually asking people what they do and then filing them somewhere behind his eyes, like a mental leaderboard. The first time he met Leah, he said, So, what do you do? And she smiled, palms resting on the gentle curve of her pregnant belly. I stay home with Eli, she said. I used to teach middle school, but daycare was more than my paycheck. Matt and I decided it made more sense for me to be home with him for now. Evan's smile flickered, just a millisecond. I caught it because I noticed things. Then he said, Oh, nice. Must be relaxing, and changed the subject. Relaxing. Right. I'd watched Leah chase Eli through a grocery store like a Navy SEAL on a mission. I should have heard the alarm bell then. I filed it away instead. By the time that Sunday rolled around, Evan and I had been together 11 months, living together for 6. We move fast, millennial relationship speedrun. We split rent, my name on the lease, his couches, my cookware, his 75-inch TV, my coffee maker, blended life. That day, my head was pounding. A migraine had been stalking me all afternoon, settling behind my right eye like a fist. I almost texted Mom that we'd skip dinner, but Sunday is sacred, and Leah was 7 months pregnant with baby number 2. Mom had gone full grandma mode. Special dessert, tiny pastel decorations, a new onesie she wanted to show off. You okay? Evan asked as I slid into the driver's seat. Just a headache, I said. I'll be fine. It's just dinner. I told myself that. Just dinner. Just one more Sunday. When we walked in, the house smelled like pot roast and rosemary and everything good about childhood. Eli barreled into my legs, chanting, Auntie Harp, Auntie Harp. Leah waddled in behind him, one hand on her back, the other balancing a tray of deviled eggs. You look amazing, I told her, kissing her cheek. She snorted. I look like a hot air balloon. You look like a goddess who could bench press her husband, I said. She laughed, the tension in her shoulders easing. Evan hovered behind me, scrolling his phone. Hey, he said vaguely to the room at large. My dad came over, wiped his hands on a dish towel, and pulled me into a hug. There's my girl. How's work? Still making the robots smarter than us? Trying to, I said. Evan perked up for a second. Harper's team just shipped a big update, he announced. It's going to save the company tons in overhead. Dad whistled. That's my daughter, Brains. Mom called everyone to the table. Pot roast in the center, mashed potatoes like clouds, green beans, fresh rolls. The usual chaos of passing plates and refilling drinks and trying to keep Eli from feeding peas to the dog. For a while, it was normal, comfortable. Mom asked Evan about his week, and he launched into a story about closing a big account, laughing about a doctor who tried to haggle him down on samples. I watched Leah while he talked. She listened politely, one hand circling her belly, the other cutting up Eli's food, wiping his face, intercepting his attempts to knock over his milk, multitasking like it was a sport. Mom turned to Leah. So, any updates on the nursery? She asked. Do you want help painting? Leah's face lit up. I was thinking sage green this time, with little woodland animals. Eli's obsessed with foxes right now. My dad chuckled. Foxes it is. We'll have the most outdoorsy nursery in the city. Leah smiled, cheeks flushed, eyes soft. She looked happy, tired, sure, but content, like she was exactly where she wanted to be. And that's when Evan sighed, loud, deliberate, the kind of sigh you use when you want everyone to notice. The conversation stumbled to a stop. Mom frowned. Something wrong, honey? Evan set his fork down with a little clink. No, it's just, is this all we're going to talk about? Baby stuff? The air shifted. Leah gave a small, awkward laugh. Sorry, she said. I know I've been kind of a one-note lately. Growing a human takes over your brain. You're not boring, I said quickly. Evan leaned back in his chair, studied Leah like she was a case study instead of a person. You're not boring, he said. You're just limited, like your whole personality is being pregnant and staying home. Don't you want to actually do something with your life? The room went dead silent. Matt's fork froze halfway to his mouth. My dad's jaw tightened. My mom's hand trembled around her water glass. Leah blinked, confusion flickering into hurt. I stared at Evan, waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one. Excuse me? Leah asked quietly. Evan shrugged, warming to his own voice. I'm just saying, you're smart, right? You went to college. You used to teach. And now your entire existence is diapers and meal planning and story time. Doesn't that feel like wasting your potential? Evan, I said sharply. My heartbeat was thudding in my ears. Matt's voice was low, measured, dangerous. She's raising our son, he said, and our daughter. That's not wasting anything. Evan actually laughed. Come on, let's be adults. Leah's just a stay-at-home mom. That's not a real job. She's not contributing to society. She's living off your paycheck while the rest of us are out there actually working. I watched Leah's face collapse in slow motion. Her hand went instinctively to her belly, like she could shield the baby from his words. Her eyes went glassy. Eli looked between the adults, sensing something was wrong. Interesting perspective, I heard myself say, but my voice sounded far away, like it belonged to someone else. Matt pushed back his chair. The legs scraped hard against the hardwood floor. He didn't yell, he didn't argue. He just stood, walked around the table, and held out his hand to Leah. Come on, he said softly. Leah stood on shaky legs. Matt lifted Eli from his booster seat. Eli clutched his stuffed dinosaur, wide-eyed. Nobody spoke as my brother led his family toward the door. Matt, Mom whispered, standing halfway up. He shook his head once. The front door opened, closed. The house swallowed the sound. Evan looked around, baffled. What? I'm just being honest. Someone needed to say it. Dad's voice was quiet, but it landed like a hammer. No, he said. No one needed to say that. Oh, please, Evan scoffed. You all baby her. She's a grown woman making lazy choices. I pushed my chair back. The migraine spiked, sharp and bright. My fingers dug into the table edge. Get out, I said. Evan blinked. What? Get your keys. Get your jacket. Get out of my parents' house. He stared at me, stunned. Harper, are you serious right now? You're taking their side? You just called my pregnant sister-in-law a parasite in front of her son, I said, my voice shaking. There is only one side. Mom's eyes were shining. Harper, she murmured, but I couldn't look at her. If I did, I'd break. Evan threw his napkin on the table. This is ridiculous. I'm your boyfriend. I'm just expressing an opinion. Your opinion is garbage, I said. And you're done here. Get out. Dad stood, shoulders squared. You heard my daughter? For a second, I saw something ugly flash across Evan's face. Contempt. Pure and undisguised. Then he grabbed his jacket off the back of his chair and stomped toward the door. Unbelievable, he muttered. You're all brainwashed. The door slammed behind him. The silence afterward felt heavier than the slam. Mom sat down slowly, pressing a hand to her chest. Dad stared at his plate like he could will time backward. The pot roast sat in the center of the table, steam curling up between us like ghost breath. I'm sorry, I whispered. I didn't know he would... Dad shook his head. He showed us who he is, he said. Better to see it now than later. I helped Mom clear the table with autopilot movements, stacking plates, rinsing dishes, tucking leftovers into containers. My migraine had migrated into my throat, hot and bitter. My phone buzzed once on the counter. Evan. I let it buzz. The drive back to our apartment was suffocating. Evan stared out the passenger window, jaw clenched. Streetlights slid over his face in stripes of gold and shadow. You all completely overreacted, he said finally. It was one comment. You didn't make one comment, I said. You gutted my sister-in-law in front of my entire family. You called her worthless for raising her kids. I was being honest, he snapped. She contributes nothing. Somebody had to say it. Nobody had to say it, I shot back. And if that's what you really think, then my family is not a place for you. He turned to me, incredulous. So what, I'm banned now? From birthdays? From holidays? From meeting your new niece? I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. The word niece twisted in my chest. Yes, I said. You're banned from everything. Mom's birthday lunch, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the baby's birth, all of it. You can't do that, he said. You can't just cut me off from your family. I can, I said, and I am. And you are not to call them. Not my parents, not Matt, not Leah, not my grandma. Don't text them. Don't show up. Don't send gifts. Nothing. That's insane, Harper. You're letting them manipulate you. I pulled into our apartment lot and put the car in park. My hands were trembling. No, I said quietly. I'm finally not letting you manipulate them. He stared at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. Maybe I was becoming someone who believed what my dad had said at that table, that when someone shows you who they are, you're supposed to believe them. I turned off the engine. The car went silent. Somewhere under my breastbone, something shifted. A tiny hairline fracture. I didn't know it yet, but that was the night my relationship didn't just bend. It started to break. Harper, Evan said, his voice softer now, coaxing, the way he talked to clients. You'll calm down. You'll see I'm right. I looked at him, really looked at him. And for the first time, I wondered what else he thought he was right about that I hadn't noticed yet. Maybe, I said, but even if I do, I won't forget. And I wouldn't. Because competence might hum quietly in the background, but once something cracks, the sound it makes is impossible to ignore. By Monday morning, the migraine was gone, but the pressure behind my eyes wasn't. I was halfway through my first stand-up of the day when my phone buzzed on my desk. Slack notifications, Jira pings, email banners. It all blurred together. But then Dad's ringtone cut through the noise, that old jazz tune Mom picked for him years ago. I stepped out of the glass conference room, murmured, "Sorry, 1 second," to my team, and answered in the hallway. "Hey," I said, "everything okay?" Matt's voice, not Dad's, rough around the edges like he hadn't slept. "Yeah," he said. "No, I need to ask you something." My stomach dropped. "Is Leah okay, the baby?" "They're fine," he said quickly. "Leah's just stressed. She cried herself to sleep last night. She feels like she ruined everything by being there." My throat tightened. "She didn't ruin anything. Evan." "Yeah," Matt cut in. "Harper, is he sorry?" The question hung there, heavier than it should have been. I thought of Evan pacing our apartment Sunday night, ranting about entitlement and lazy choices, refusing to see what he'd done. Thought of him scoffing when I told him he was banned. "No," I said finally. "He thinks everyone overreacted." There was a beat of silence, then Matt exhaled. "Okay, then here's what's going to happen." I pressed my back against the hallway wall, bracing myself. "He's banned from everything," Matt said. "Mom's birthday lunch next month, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the hospital when the baby comes, the baptism, all of it. Leah doesn't need him anywhere near her. She's already anxious about the pregnancy, and now he's planted this idea that she's worthless. I'm not letting that hang over her head for the next 2 months." My eyes stung. I understand. "I'm not asking," he said softly. "I'm telling you. You're my sister. I love you. I want you there. But him? No. I won't have my wife sobbing in the bathroom at Christmas because your boyfriend thinks she's a parasite." The word twisted in my gut. Parasite. I'd heard Evan say it. I'd watched Leah flinch. "You're doing the right thing," I said. I told him the same. He's banned. "Good," Matt said, "because if he shows up anywhere, I'll have him removed. I mean that." I believed him. When I walked back into the conference room, my manager raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Family stuff," I said. "Nothing urgent." That was a lie. It was the most urgent thing in my life. That night, Evan was sprawled on the couch with his laptop open, eyes on some sales dashboard. None of our furniture looked like ours. It looked like an inventory of who'd paid for what. "Matt called," I said, dropping my bag by the door. He didn't look up. "And?" "He wanted to know if you were sorry." Evan snorted. "For telling the truth?" "For insulting his wife," I said. "For calling her a parasite. For humiliating her in front of everyone." He finally closed his laptop, turned toward me. "You know what's humiliating?" he said. "Being a grown adult whose entire existence depends on someone else's paycheck." "They made that decision together," I said. "It's their life, not yours." "It's a bad decision," he shot back. "And someone had to say it." "No one had to say it," I snapped. "But you did, and now there are consequences." He rolled his eyes. "Let me guess. I'm banned." "Yes," I said. "From everything." Matt was very clear. You're not invited to Mom's birthday lunch, or Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or the hospital when the baby is born, or the baptism. Nothing. He stared at me like I'd just told him he'd been fired. He can't do that. He already did, I said, and I agreed. I'm not bringing you to anything. You're not welcome. This is insane, he said. You're my girlfriend. I'm part of your life. Your family doesn't get to veto me. They don't have to veto you, I said quietly. You did that yourself. He stood up, pacing. You know what this is, he said? Emotional manipulation. They're punishing me for having standards, and you're just going along with it. I wanted to laugh at standards. Instead, I leaned against the counter, exhausted. You don't get to call cruelty standards, Evan. He raked a hand through his hair, frustrated. Fine, I'll fix it, he said. I'll text Leah an apology. Don't, I said quickly. He frowned. What? Don't text her, don't call, don't DM her, don't even like her posts. Leave her alone. You're being dramatic, he said. I'll send a nice message, something like, sorry if what I said hurt your feelings, but... That's not an apology, I cut in. That's a justification with a sorry sticker on top. She doesn't need that. She needs peace. He stared at me, disbelief turning to anger. So what? I'm supposed to do nothing? Just accept being exiled? Yes, I said. Or, and this is wild, I know, you could actually understand why what you said was wrong. But since you clearly don't... He grabbed his keys off the counter. I'm going for a drive, he muttered. Great, I said. Maybe on the way you can Google basic human decency. He slammed the door hard enough to rattle the picture frames. By Tuesday, the cracks were showing everywhere. Mom called mid-morning. I'm having a lunch for my birthday next month, she said. Just close family, about 20 people. Okay, I said, opening my calendar. What day? She told me. I added it, color-coded it. Then she cleared her throat. I want you there, she said. But Harper, Evan isn't invited. I just want to make sure that's clear. I assumed, I said. Good, she said. Because if he shows up, your father will physically remove him. I won't have that boy in my house again. Understood, I said. He's not coming. After work, I came home to find Evan on the couch, scrolling his phone with a pinched expression. Your mom's birthday is next month? He asked. Yes, I said carefully. What time's the party? You're not going, I said. You're not invited. His mouth fell open. You're kidding. No, I said, I'm not. You can't go without me, he said, like it was a rule carved into stone. I can, I said, and I will. One comment, he said. You're going to hold one comment over my head forever? It wasn't one comment, I said. It was a speech, a character assassination. And then you doubled down. He scoffed. You're all so sensitive. Leah needs thicker skin. If she's going to be a stay-at-home mom, she has to accept that people will judge her. Judging her is the problem, I said. You don't get to sit in your glass office and decide her life is worthless. He stood up, shaking his head, muttering about echo chambers and delusional family dynamics. I didn't follow him. I didn't have the energy. Wednesday morning, Mom's cousin posted on Instagram a boomerang of pastel invitations on a table with the caption, Planning Aunt Marie's birthday lunch. An hour later, a text from Evan lit up my phone. Evan, your mom's lunch is at that Italian place downtown? I stared at the screen, my stomach dropping. Me, yes. Evan, what time? I'll meet you there. Me, you're not invited. 3 dots. Then, Evan, you're going without me? Me, yes. Evan, that's insane, Harper. You can't separate me from your family. Me, I'm not separating you. You did that when you called Leah a parasite. He didn't respond. Instead, he called my mom. She declined the call. He called again, straight to voicemail. He tried my dad. Blocked after the first ring. When I got home, he was pacing the living room, red-faced. Your mother blocked my number, he said. Your father, too. That's childish. They don't owe you access, I said, kicking off my shoes. I'm trying to fix things, he said. I was going to apologize. Were you? I asked. Or were you going to say, sorry you're offended, but... He glared at me. You're impossible. Better than being cruel, I said. He grabbed his wallet. I'm going over there, he announced. Don't, I said sharply. He was already halfway out the door. Maybe your mom will be reasonable in person. He came back an hour later, furious, carrying a ridiculously expensive-looking gift basket, gourmet crackers, artisanal jams, a bottle of wine, still wrapped in crinkly cellophane. He dropped it on the counter so hard the chocolate bars rattled. Your mother is unbelievable, he said. I brought her this, and she slammed the door in my face. I pictured it. Mom opening the door, seeing him standing there. The memory of Leah's crumpling face still fresh. I almost smiled. Almost. What did you expect? I asked. A hug? I was trying to make amends, he snapped. I spent $90 on that basket. It's not a boss you offended, I said. It's my family. You can't buy your way back in. It's the thought that counts, he said. The thought would be realizing you were wrong and apologizing, I said, not showing up with brie and a bottle of Merlot. He stared at me like I was speaking another language. Your whole family is ganging up on me, he said. This is emotional blackmail. You called a pregnant woman a parasite, I said. What did you think would happen? That we'd all nod and say, "Great point, Evan?" He threw up his hands and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door. By Saturday, things had gone from bad to surreal. I was on the couch, laptop open, trying to debug an issue from work, when my cousin Lila called. Hey, I said, answering on speaker. Okay, she said without preamble. 2 questions. 1, are you free next Saturday to help with the party favors? And 2, is your boyfriend subtweeting Leah? I blinked. What? I'm looking at his Instagram, Lila said. He posted a story that says, some women use pregnancy as an excuse to stop contributing. Being a mom isn't a personality, it's a cop-out. Then another one. Financial dependency isn't cute, it's manipulative. No names, but come on. My stomach dropped. Yes, I said, he's talking about Leah. Wow, Lila said. That's bold. Also, what a jerk. Yeah, I said, I'm dealing with it. Well, the rest of the family is too, she said. Your mom texted the group chat. Everyone's blocking him, just so you know. After we hung up, I opened Instagram. Evan's story was exactly what Lila had described. Sleek black text on a minimalist beige background, like a motivational quote if you squinted and ignored the venom. I watched the views tick up. Mutual friends, coworkers, people who'd been at our housewarming party. My chest tightened. I walked into the bedroom. Evan was lying on the bed, phone above his face. Take the stories down, I said. He didn't look away from the screen. No. You're talking about my family, I said. About Leah. I didn't use names, he said. Everyone knows who you mean, I said. They're blocking you. Good, he said. If they can't handle the truth, I don't need them. I stared at him, really stared at him, and realized something that hurt more than the migraine ever had. He liked this. The drama. The feeling of being persecuted for telling it like it is. He wasn't ashamed, he was proud. And somewhere deep inside me, something that had been humming quietly for months, the part of me that kept the dishwasher scheduled and the budget balanced and the family dinners sacred, finally flickered with a different kind of electricity. Not panic, not despair. Resolve. The crack was widening. And we weren't even at the worst part yet. Thursday morning, I was brushing my teeth when my phone buzzed with a text from Matt. Matt, we're at the clinic. Leah's blood pressure is high. Doctor says she needs to avoid stress. Just so you know, Evan is banned from the hospital when the baby comes. I'll have security remove him if he shows up. I froze, toothbrush halfway to the sink. Then, Matt, not joking. I typed back slowly. Me, I understand. He won't be there, I promise. When I stepped out of the bathroom, Evan was standing by the dresser, tying his tie. Who was that? He asked casually. My brother, I said. They're at the clinic. Leah's blood pressure is elevated. He shrugged, straightening his collar. Probably because she's pregnant. Happens all the time. I stared at him. You don't think you had anything to do with it? He frowned like I'd just insulted him personally. What? No. She's stressed because she's an emotional person, and she's making bad choices about her life. That has nothing to do with me. I pressed my fingers to my temple. Matt says you're banned from the hospital when the baby comes. Evan laughed. Actually laughed. You're kidding. They can't stop me from meeting their baby. That's my future niece by dating proximity. I couldn't tell if he was delusional or just arrogant. You are not going near that hospital, I said. Ever. They will call security. His smile dropped. Harper, that's insane. I'm not some dangerous criminal. No, I said, but you're someone who hurt a pregnant woman so badly she cried herself to sleep. You don't get to meet her child. His jaw clenched. Your family is unhinged. My family is protective, I said. There's a difference. He shook his head like he pitied me. This is emotional abuse, he said. They're isolating you from your support system. My support system? I laughed, stunned. Evan, you're the one who blew everything up. You called Leah a parasite. Because she is, he snapped. She doesn't contribute. She doesn't provide. She just raises children, I cut him off. Grows humans. Builds a family. Keeps a home running. That's not contributing, he insisted. That's just fulfilling a biological function. Anyone can do that. The room went quiet. Something in my chest snapped. I didn't say another word. Neither did he. He left for work, slamming the door behind him. By afternoon, things escalated. My phone buzzed, a call from my mom. When I answered, her voice was tight. "Your boyfriend just rang our doorbell for 10 straight minutes," she said. "Your father locked the door and told him to leave." I pressed my hand to my forehead. "He what?" "He had a big gift bag," she said. "He said he wanted to talk things out." "I told your father not to open the door. He didn't." Evan eventually left. "Oh my God," I whispered. "He's not allowed here, Harper," Mom said. "I don't want him near Leah. I don't want him near me. I don't want him near your father. If he shows up again, your father will call the police." "I understand," I said. "I'll talk to him." I hung up and immediately called Evan. He answered on the second ring. "Hey, why did you go to my parents' house?" He huffed. "Because they're overreacting and I wanted to fix things. Adults talk. They don't slam doors." "You were told not to go there," I said. "And you went anyway. That's disrespectful." "No," he said sharply. "What's disrespectful is them banning me without giving me a chance to defend myself." "You did defend yourself," I said. "At dinner, loudly." "That was different," he said. "They didn't listen." "Because what you said was cruel." He sighed dramatically. "Here we go again." Then he said it, the sentence that made the hair rise on my arms. "Your family is obsessed with villainizing me," he said. "You're all acting like Leah is some saint because she's pregnant. It's pathetic." I was trembling, not with fear, something colder. "You need to stop this," I said, "now." He hung up on me. At 7 p.m., Matt called. Not texted, called. I answered immediately. "Is everything okay?" "No," he growled. "Evan just drove past our house, twice." My stomach dropped. "What?" "Leah saw his car. She's shaking, Harper. She thinks he's going to confront her again. I swear to God, if he drives by one more time—" "He won't," I said. "I'll handle it." Matt's voice softened, barely. "Harper, she's 7 months pregnant. She doesn't need this." "I know," I whispered. "I'm so sorry." When Evan came home that night, I was waiting on the couch. "Did you drive past my brother's house?" I asked. He tossed his keys onto the counter. "I was just in the neighborhood." "No, you weren't," I said. "Their house is 15 minutes in the opposite direction." He waved a hand. "Whatever. I wanted to see where they lived again." "You've been there," I said flatly. "Multiple times." He shrugged. "That's stalking," I said. "They're terrified. If you do it again, they will call the police." He scoffed. "They're bluffing." "Try them," I said. "I dare you." He crossed his arms. "I don't understand why you're defending them so much." "Because they're my family," I said. "Because Leah is carrying my niece. Because she's scared. Because she cried herself to sleep for the 3rd time in a week." "She cries too easily," he snapped. "No," I said quietly. "She cries normally. You're the one who lacks empathy." He grabbed a stack of printed articles off the counter, shoved them toward me. "Look at this," he said. "Studies on dependent spouses. Think pieces about how single-income marriages create financial abuse. Articles proving Leah's choices are harmful." I stared at the stack like it was a bomb. "Are you serious?" I whispered. "You're sending me homework now?" "I'm trying to educate you," he said. "You clearly don't see how unhealthy their marriage is." "And you clearly don't see how unhealthy your mindset is," I said. He stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. The next day, Friday, my phone buzzed with a family group text. "Matt, baby girl arrived early. 5 lobes, 7 O's, healthy. Mom and baby doing well. Photo attached. A tiny, perfect infant curled against Leah's chest. I felt warmth spread through my chest. My niece, my brother, Leah, safe. Then Evan, at the dining table, spotted the notification lighting up my phone. "Is that the baby?" he asked. "Yes," I said softly. "When are we going to visit?" I looked up at him slowly. "I'm going tomorrow," I said. "I am." He blinked. "You mean we?" "No," I said. "I mean me, alone." "What? Why?" "Because you are banned from the hospital," I said. "You are not meeting my niece." He stared at me like I had slapped him. "That's my potential future niece," he said. "You can't cut me out like that." "You cut yourself out," I said, "when you chose cruelty." He slammed his hand onto the table. "This is the most petty, vindictive garbage I've ever seen." "Then leave," I said calmly. "Nobody is chaining you here." He stared at me, face red, breathing heavy. Then he grabbed 2 suitcases from the closet, stuffed clothes into them, and marched to the door. "I'm staying at Jake's," he said. "I need time to think about whether I can be with someone who doesn't support me." I didn't even stand up. "Okay," I said. He blinked. "That's it? Just okay?" "What do you want me to say?" I asked. "Beg you to stay? Tell you you're right?" "I want you to defend me," he said. "I want you to fight for us." I met his eyes, really met them. "You didn't fight for us," I said. "You chose your ego over basic decency." You chose being right over being kind. He stared at me, hollow. Then he left. The door didn't slam this time. It just clicked shut, and for the first time in weeks, the apartment was quiet. Not peaceful, just quiet. Like the eye of a storm. He didn't contact me for 5 days. 5 days of silence. 5 days of my apartment feeling like it was holding its breath. 5 days where every small sound, keys in the hallway, the elevator ding, footsteps outside my door, felt like it might be him. I didn't know whether I dreaded that or hoped for it. On the 6th day, he texted, "Evan, we need to talk logistics about the lease. I'll stop by tonight." No apology, no softness, just paperwork. Typical. That evening, he showed up right on time, wearing his professional Evan face, the one he used for difficult clients, the one he used when he wanted something. He stepped inside, glanced around like checking whether anything had changed. "We should talk," he said. "Okay," I said, sitting on the arm of the couch. He set his keys on the counter, took a breath, and delivered his performance. "I've been thinking," he began, "and I'm willing to apologize if it will fix this." I didn't respond. I didn't even blink. He continued, mistaking my stillness for encouragement. "I mean, obviously, I still think I was right," he said, "but if an apology is what it takes for your family to chill out, fine, I'll say it." "Willing to apologize," I repeated slowly. "Or actually sorry," he frowned. "Same thing." "No," I said, "they're not." He bristled. "What difference does it make? I'll say I'm sorry. There, problem solved." My stomach twisted. "Evan," I said quietly, "you still believe every word you said, don't you?" He didn't answer. "Say it," I pressed. "You think Leah is lazy, worthless, a parasite. You think motherhood is beneath you. You think your worth comes from your paycheck. And you think anyone who doesn't live like you is automatically inferior." He opened his mouth, closed it, then, "I think she's wasting her potential," he said. "But yes, fine, whatever. I'll apologize anyway. I'll say whatever you need me to say." I stared at him. "You'd lie?" "It's not lying," he insisted. "It's strategic." "Strategic," I repeated. "So you want to manipulate my family into accepting you?" He looked offended. "That's not manipulation, it's compromise." My laugh came out before I could stop it. Sharp, not amused. "What's so funny?" he demanded. "You just told me you'd lie to get what you want," I said. "And you think that's compromise?" "I'm trying, Harper." "No," I said. "You're trying to reset the chessboard so you can keep playing the same game." His jaw tightened. "People don't break up over things like this." "People don't double down for 3 weeks over things like this," I corrected. "People don't stalk houses. People don't post cryptic attacks on social media. People don't refuse to apologize for calling a pregnant woman a parasite." He snapped, "You're blowing this way out of proportion." "I'm not blowing anything out of proportion," I said. "You did that yourself." He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "Fine. What do you want? Couples therapy? A written apology? I'll volunteer somewhere. I'll help your mom with her garden. "Evan," I said, "stop." He froze. "It's not about what you do next," I said. "It's about who you are. You showed me who you are." "That's not fair." "It is," I said. "It really is." He swallowed, eyes darkening. "So that's it? 11 months gone because I said one thing?" "It wasn't one thing," I said quietly. "It was a pattern of cruelty, a pattern of arrogance, a pattern of refusing to see other people as equal unless they earn what you earn or live the way you live." He stared at me like I was betraying him, like I had done something wrong. "You're choosing them over me," he said. "I hope you're happy." I stood, walked to the door, and opened it. "I'm choosing decency," I said, "and you should too." He grabbed his bags. He'd brought them in case this went well, I realized, and walked out. He didn't look back. The door closed with a soft final click. Not a slam, a period. 1 week later, I attended my mom's birthday lunch alone. Leah was there, looking lighter than I'd seen her in months. She'd lost that tight, strained look around her eyes. She held her newborn daughter, Ava, swaddled in a pink blanket. When I sat next to her, she reached for my hand. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. My chest tightened. "For what?" "For causing problems between you and Evan." I shook my head immediately. "Leah, no, you didn't do anything. None of this is on you. Her eyes glistened. "I never wanted to be the reason you got hurt." "You aren't," I said. He showed his true colors. "I'm glad I saw them now, not later." Her smile was small but real. "You're a good sister," she said. "And a good aunt." My nephew Eli climbed into my lap, holding a crayon drawing of our family. Stick figures, bright colors, a scribbled baby with giant eyelashes. "Auntie Harp," he whispered loudly. "Is the mean man coming?" I shook my head. Nobody, he's gone. Good, he said seriously. He made Mommy cry. My chest cracked open at that. Yeah, I whispered, and that's why he's not coming back. That night, after the party, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Unknown. You chose your family over me. I will never forgive you for humiliating me like this. I didn't hesitate. Me. I didn't humiliate you. You humiliated yourself. But hey, now you can date someone without a stay-at-home parent in their family. Should expand your options quite a bit. I blocked the number. When I set my phone down, the apartment felt different. Still quiet. But not the eye of a storm anymore. The quiet after one. The quiet where you can finally hear your own heartbeat again. A month later, Ava's baptism was held. A small ceremony. Just family. I stood beside Matt and Leah, holding a white candle as the priest spoke, my niece sleeping peacefully in Leah's arms. Afterward, Eli tugged on my sleeve. Auntie Harp, he said, is the mean man still gone? I brushed his hair back. Yes, I said, he's gone for good. He nodded seriously. Good, he said again. Mommy doesn't cry now. I swallowed hard. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. It's simple. It's also the hardest thing I've ever learned. But as I held Ava's tiny hand later that night, watching my family laugh in the soft glow of the dining room, I realized something. I didn't lose anything. I gained clarity. My sister-in-law gained peace. My nephew gained a home where he wouldn't hear his mother belittled. My niece gained a world that didn't start with cruelty, and I gained myself back. My apartment has less furniture now. My bank account feels the strain of covering rent alone. My heart aches sometimes. Not for him, but for the future I thought we might have had. But I can go to Sunday dinners without bracing for what awful thing might come out of someone's mouth. I can look at my family without shame. I can stand by people who lift each other up instead of tearing them down. And that is worth more than any relationship with someone who values money over humanity. If you are reading this, dealing with something similar, please hear me. You don't compromise on respect. You don't compromise on kindness. You don't compromise when someone shows you who they really are. Believe them the first time.